Hey everyone, Coach Craig here, and this is your, I guess I'll call it the motivational video to get yourselves outside at some point this week. Alright, so today I am out on my long run of the week for the training plan that I'm on, and also will end up being the longest run I've done in about maybe 4 years. So I have my coaches here with me, James and Sarah, on their bikes. They'll be keeping me moving. So yeah, the theme of this video is if I can do it, you can do it. I turned 50 last month. Like I said, this will be the longest run I've done in a few years. I'm on a crazy training plan, or a training plan for a little bit of a crazy goal. I was diagnosed with 2 torn hip labrums about 3 years ago, which completely knocked me out of competition. Gained a ton of weight. I won't bore you with the details, but since September, I've been on this plan to get more or less back in shape. So it's worked out so far. But a few weeks ago, I set my sight on the Batona 55-mile trail run, which happens at the end of October. I don't know how realistic that is, to be totally honest, but it's good to have goals. All right, so in order to do that 55-mile race, I know that it's going to involve a certain amount of walking mixed in with the running intervals. So my training plan involves walking a mile today, walking a mile, running 5 miles, then walking another mile, and then running 1 more mile at the tail end, just to start getting used to that idea. So 8 miles total. I'll check in a little bit. See ya. All right, hello again. So I'm about 1 mile into the 5-mile section of this particular run. I'm actually on a trail, which I think technically is closed, but I'm right near the street in Cherry Hill. So if it seems uncool, I can step right out onto the sidewalk. But anyway, with that said, trying to figure out the best, safest route to get this whole run in. So, hello again. All right, so I'm about a little more than 1 mile in to the 5-mile section of this run. I figured I would tell you a little bit about the Batona Trail. If you're not familiar with it, it runs from the north end of Wharton State Forest down to the south end. And it's about, I think, 53 miles total. It's one of the longest continuous trails, definitely in the region, but even in the country. I think it might be the longest continuous trail on the East Coast aside from the Appalachian Trail. So it's a really awesome thing to have in our own state here. And the Pine Barrens are so beautiful. So anyway, the race is end to end, but there is a 33-mile version. So if it turns out that this goal is totally unrealistic, I can jump down and just run a brief, short 33 miles. All right, so a little more than 1 mile in. I'll check in a little bit later. Hello again. Well, so far so good. Got a little over a mile left in the 5-mile run section, and then a mile walk and 1 more mile run. So just trying to keep things steady. This next mile is going to be a bit of a stretch. Since last week, my continuous section was only 4 miles. But feeling pretty good. Coaches are still doing pretty good. Very motivating. So in order to do the Batona 55, in order to register for it, you have to complete a 50K before that. So in August, which might be wishful thinking, there's a 50K trail run in North Jersey, or upstate New York, can't remember. So that's the first goal, is get to that 50K, which is, I guess, about 30 miles. And that'll be a big test to see how this training plan's going and how my hips are holding up and everything else. All right, check in again soon. All right, so just finished the 5-mile run section. I'm on my 1-mile walk break. Wasn't too bad. Weather's changed a little. It's gotten a little grayer out. Beautiful running weather though. I think it's about, I don't know, low 60s. So yeah, it may seem a little weird, but what I've learned is that you really have to actually train the walk break if that's part of a planned strategy for a race, a long run. So not to get too into the deep science of it, but right now my body is in a recovery mode. It's trying to get back to homeostasis as fast as it can after that 5-mile run. But I'm still moving, which is, you know, it's forcing the body to work a little bit differently than if I was just slung onto a couch right now. I'm not doing it right now, but I'm gonna try to maintain 15-minute mile pace on the walk segments, so about 4 miles an hour, and that obviously it would be another training aspect to it, because that's going to take a little bit of work to keep that kind of walk pace during the recovery sections. So yeah, got about maybe 3/4 of a mile left of this walk, and then 1 more mile of running, which actually I'm not worried about pace at all on this long run of the week. Even during the week where I'm doing my shorter runs, I'm really just running what's comfortable at this point. I'm not worried about proving anything to myself or trying to get back to the pace that I was at a few years ago. I'm really more about just continuous exercise at this point. So yeah, that last mile is going to be a little bit of a crawl. It's looking like where it's going to sync up is maybe a little bit of uphill too, so that'll keep me slow. All right, I will check in when this is all over, probably. Okay, just about to start this last mile run section, and honestly, I'm feeling a little nervous about how it's going to feel. As recovered as I'm going to be, legs are feeling a little bit wobbly, but I think I can do it. So part of the idea, my plan for the 55 miler is to go out and run the first 10 miles. So that's kind of what I'm building up to right now, getting up to a 10-mile continuous run. And then I'll walk a mile, and then I'll do 9-mile section, walk a mile, 8-mile section, walk a mile, and then eventually I'll cut down to half-mile breaks, but I'll keep going shorter run distances, and I kind of have this crazy equation figured out that'll eventually lead me to 55 miles. So that's sort of the hi. Yeah, so saying hi to some of our kids' teachers on out on a walk. So yeah, that's the wacky plan. The madness behind the method, or the method to the madness, or something like that. All right, so about to start this last run section. Here we go. Should be interesting. All right, home again. Thanks for joining in if you did. And yeah, that wasn't as bad as I thought, even that last mile. So the training is working, and so far so good. All right, everybody, remember, if I can do it, you can. Get out there this week. See ya.